In this video, I want to talk about the natural logarithm, ln of x. And by definition, this function is the inverse function to e to the x. So what I've graphed here is e to the x, and because it's an inverse, we have this nice reflection over the line y equals x, and what we get is the natural logarithm over here. And the natural logarithm has a restriction on its domain. E to the x can only be a positive number. And what this results in is that the domain of its inverse can only be positive numbers. I can only compute the natural logarithm of x when x is going to be a positive number. Now, the question is, I've got this lovely function here, but what is its derivative? And we're going to do the same basic trick that we did when we looked at the derivative of arctangent. For these inverse functions, we're always going to be applying implicit differentiation. So we have y equals the natural logarithm of x. And what this meant, because it was an inverse, what it meant was that x was equal to the exponential e to the power of y. And again, I'll point out that the x here is only allowed to be positive. Now, taking the derivative of both sides of the original form is unhelpful to us. It just says the derivative of y with respect to x is the derivative of the natural logarithm, but that's what we're trying to figure out. However, taking the derivative with respect to x of this other form is going to be very helpful. So let's see how that works out. I'm going to take d dx of both sides, the derivative with respect to x of x and the derivative with respect to x of e to the y, thinking of y implicitly as a function of x. Derivative with respect to x of x is just going to be 1, but for the other side, we're going to apply the chain rule. E to the y has an outside function, e to the whatever, and an inside function, the y. So derivative of e to the y is just e to the y, and then the derivative of the inside, dy dx. I can then rearrange. This is going to give me that dy dx is 1 over e to the y. And I can look all the way back at the beginning, e to the y, that was just equal to x. So this is just going to be the same thing as saying that the derivative of the natural logarithm is 1 divided out by x.